My name is Shane Ivan Nash. Stay tuned and hit that like and subscribe button.
This is the Transparency Podcast Show.
My name is Stephanie Kolton. I am a daughter, a mother, a wife. I am not going to tell you how old I am. And up until recently, I was focused entirely on raising my daughter. And now I'm getting into really trying to give back to the community that's given me a home and given me a life. Okay.
So let's dive into your transition story first. So let's start with your transition journey. How does it start? How does it begin and everything?
It starts a long time ago.
Okay.
I knew what I am. I knew that I was not born the way I should have been born at a very early age. I think I was 4 or 5 by the time I knew. And by the time I was in school, everything's separating out into boys and girls, and I knew I kept going to the wrong place. But it was not a good time to be that kind of a child. And so I hid for a long time. I was in the closet for many, many years. And I came out actually because I wanted to get married. It's really the short end of it. Okay. I was dating the person who is now my wife, and I knew that I couldn't go into a lifelong commitment with a secret. I couldn't go into it with a lie. And so I came out to her, and it could not have gone better. My wife has been through this whole journey. All of our time together, my transition and everything has been my biggest supporter and my biggest support. And it's been 11 years now.
Wow.
I've been out and mostly proud. We all have our days.
Yeah.
We all have those moments when we're like, don't notice me. But for the most part, 11 years out and proud and never going back.
Where are you located? Because I'm in Southern California and you're from another state. Where are you located, and how's that your hometown treating you as a trans woman?
Well, at the moment I'm in the Southwest. I'm in New Mexico. It is not my hometown.
Oh, okay.
I was back to my hometown recently. I made a little tour with my wife. I wanted to show her where I grew up. Just back in every year we do a Pride tour. We hit as many Pride celebrations around the country as we can. And we were in New York, and New Jersey was right there, and that's where I'm from. And it's a much different place from when I grew up. And I think if I were growing up there now, I would not have been in the closet. I think I would have had the comfort at that point to express myself fully. But New Mexico is a lovely place. New Mexico has accepted us and taken us into its own and said, here, have a home with us. And yeah, it's I would say everyone should come visit New Mexico, but one of the things I like is that there's not a lot of traffic on the roads.
I see. So let's rewind back a little bit to your relationship. So when you came out to your current wife now, how did she react? Like, you were already in a relationship, right? Yes.
There was a moment of silence, and then she said, paraphrasing, it was 11 years ago, and but she said to me, you need to be who you are, and nobody gets to tell you otherwise. And then over the next several years, she kept pointing out things that she should have recognized as being not your typical guy.
I see.
I should have
But
known that. I should have known that. I should have known that.
uh-huh. But she's acceptable and everything and all that. What about your own family, or let's say before you got into this starting this nonprofit? Do you have an employer you work for? How's the experience on that?
Well, for the last 5 years, I've been a full-time mom. My daughter she's the light of my life. She is when I'm on my worst days, a hug from her is the best medicine and makes everything feel better. And I just don't care anymore about anything. There could be, elephants parading through the living room, and if she's giving me a hug, I wouldn't notice. She's just the best thing that's ever happened to me. And before that, before that, I was casting around a bit because I needed something, and I tried a little day trading, and then I realized I hate working with people who would sell their mothers for a dime. And I was working as a speechwriter for a while and realized I don't like being very close to politicians. But most of my career was spent in pre-hospital care, emergency medicine, as an EMT and a medic.
Okay. So coming out as Stephanie, it didn't really affect you much, or like other people has more dramatic effect, like they probably got fired, lost their job, or not able to find a new job or some sort of like that, right? You're kind of
employment wise, it was very easy because I was working from home at the time, and I was out and about every day, but none of the people I saw in my everyday life were responsible for my paycheck. So in terms of my employment, I really was very lucky. Other ways, not so much, but I don't like to dwell.
Okay. And how about your family member? Like, are they supportive of you? Did they probably see the sign too, like your wife now?
Mostly. My mom is my best friend. She really is. And her only issue with me coming out was that she felt a lot of recrimination, that I didn't feel comfortable talking to her about it when I was a kid. And she understood that when I was younger, our home life was not exactly nurturing. When my father was in the picture, it was not a safe environment. And after I was dealing with all of the pressures of being in the closet and trying to contend with who I was, and trying to contend with external pressures that were at times extreme, and got into a lot of self-destructive behavior, and wound up with a foster family for a little while. And I'm still very much in touch with them. My foster brother is just the best. When I told him, when I came out to him, he said, "I knew something was different because I've never seen you this happy." And I cried. And he's still, we talk every day. His mom, my foster mom, we talk all the time. My foster dad, we lost in the early days of COVID, but I still have the last text message that he sent to me, which was right after I came out, and he said, "I don't care. You'll always be my kid, and I will always love you." And every time I see that text message when I'm scrolling through and clearing out old stuff that I don't need, it makes me cry. My sister and I don't talk. We haven't talked in over 10 years now, since she found out. And I have some other family, some biological family that are not in my life anymore. I've got my mom and I've got my father, foster family, and I've got my wife and my daughter, and that's all I need. What else do I need? I need our trans family.